Okay, so we're back for more Banter Blitz. I'm just gonna get going against. Let me see who's gonna be my first opponent. It's gonna be a lucky person called Grsk, and yeah, let's see. So d4, knight f6. For those who are new, I'm gonna be playing 3 minutes, 5 minutes games. I'm not gonna be playing too much. I'm not gonna be playing at all actually with increment because I wanna be able to flag you guys if I mess up and don't win in a sort of normal way. And probably be playing more 3-minute games against high-rated players, and then 5 minutes against slightly lower-rated players so that I can comment a bit more and try and be instructive or whatever. Because I think that's one of the points of this whole banter thing. Anyway, we got ourselves a pretty standard Maran position. My opponent clearly has done nothing wrong so far, although this may have been a bit wrong. I think he should attack with the bishop, since now knight g4 attacks both h2 and e3. And he probably has to go h3 or g3, and then I take the bishop on e3, ruin his pawn structure, and it's gonna give myself some really nice dark squares as well. Okay, so let me just shut this off, put my knight on e5. Looks very good. Next, I'm thinking of moves like g6, taking away the f5 square for his knight. There is also this also means that I can put the queen quite conveniently on e7. So he goes b4, trying to take control over some dark squares, which is very sensible. But still, with this move, queen e7, I'm putting pressure on b4. He probably has to protect it with queen b2 or queen b3, and then I bring the bishop around bishop c8, and then either bishop d7 or e6, because this bishop on b7 is the only piece of mine that's not so well placed, and when I manage to improve this piece, I should be considerably better. Also, queen g5 is a bit of an idea now. Then I have to watch out for some tricks like knight c6, but then I believe I have either bishop h3 or bishop e6. But queen g5 would create dual threats of bishop takes h3 and also queen takes e3, with check winning the knight on d4. Knight is gone rook f2. I'm a little bit less convinced about queen g5, since there are moves like knight f3, but I can take that and put the bishop on e6. So I think queen g5 is still a good move. And now after knight c6, I think bishop e6 is the only good move, but it was quite sufficient. Maybe on the last move he could have gone bishop takes b5 actually, because I was only thinking of knight takes b5, but then I have bishop e6. The point of either move is to make me take back on on b5, and then he would have had knight d5 attacking the queen, followed by a fork on f6. So he allows me to take on e3 with a nice little double attack on f2 and d4. He protects the rook, so I'm just going to take the knight, and if rook f7, I could just go bishop e6. I don't have to take. So now I think I win a full rook more, and with rook and a bishop up should be plain sailing. Okay, not a bad game from my opponent at all. He had some very good ideas, but it just turned out that with the positional advantage I had, that the tactics usually work out in my favor. Okay, so we get ourselves another game. Let me just see. Yeah, let's just accept Bagsy Mogs, of course. As people who have seen this stream before will know, I'm a sucker for these stupid names. And my opponent says huge fun. Good luck reaching 2900. Thank you very much. I do feel though, since I'm like 3269 now, reaching 2900 would be a bit of a bummer. But that's just me. Okay, so let's talk more play. What's the story here? So he sacrificed a pawn. It's a bit similar to the Blumenfeld gambit against 1d4. And by the way, good luck to my opponent as well. May you one day reach 2900 as well. So I think I should strike in the center with e5. Move which has several purposes. Obviously, opening up for the bishop on f8, so that the knight on b4 would not be hanging. And also, it was not so easy to actually take this. I probably should go to b8 actually. Knight a5 looks a bit weird. So he couldn't actually take an e5 earlier on, or he could, but it wasn't that great because of queen h4 check, and if g3, there's always queen to e4. So it will be interesting to see what he does now. Now he can take, because before, when the queen goes to e4, I would have had a fork on c2 with the knight, but now he probably could have taken. Because queen e4, queen h4, queen e4, you can go knight f3 and meet that fairly satisfactorily. Yeah, whatever. I think that's how we say it. So he goes bishop g5. Okay, I'm just gonna go f6. Try and keep everything sort of tidy. Bishop g4, I think. Not so worried about giving up the bishop pair, as my strategy is very much dark squared based here. So I'm just provoking this. I think I'm gonna eliminate this knight. I'm gonna play knight d7. And my opponent does have some activity, but I think I have too much control over the position here to be really worried. So this knight is just being rerouted in a hurry to d6. So now I'm just gonna put the queen on c5 probably. Yeah. Queen c5 check. King e2. So if he'd gone queen e3, I think I just would have gone b6. Trying to keep the blockade at all costs. Now I'm seeing that I'm running short on time, actually. Like, spending so much time yapping that I'm actually a little bit worried. Okay, I'm just gonna take this. Rook f8. Hopefully start invading. Okay, g6. Now e4 should win. Take this back. If he takes an f8, I take with a queen, and then rook e8 after queen e4. And this one as well is lost for him. Now I'm a clear knight up, and he resigned. Okay, good game, but eventually the pawn that he sacked in the opening very much told, since it gave me a bunch of good squares for my pieces. And as I said before, if you want to play, you should challenge me at you should be a premium member. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so I'm playing Formless. Apparently I played Formless before. I don't remember. But I'm loving the name. Like, it just feels a little bit sad to say that you're formless, but whatever it is, I like it. Okay, so I'm going with the by now very famous Rat, which used to be my main Banter Blitz opening. But recently I've played other things as well, like Scandinavian. So he goes queen e2, bishop g7. My knight is pretty stranded on h5, but for whatever reason, I don't think it's that big a deal. So on all of these previous moves, one of his tricks is that I couldn't really go bishop g4 because there was bishop takes f7 and then knight g5. So now that he was actually threatening, he had a pretty serious threat of catching that knight on h5. So now I actually had to take action and go for knight d5 and knight d4. But now I should be able to bring the knight back in the game with a sort of decent game. I'm a bit worried about knight f4, bishop f4, queen f4, knight c3, c6. Probably have to play to protect against knight d5, and then rook a d1, because my development is sort of poor. Never mind. I'll do it. You can also go queen e4, but then I just trade queens, and I should be fairly okay despite my lack of space. Would be interesting after queen e4 also to go queen e4, rook e4, and then g5. Protecting the knight on f4, and with the tactical point that if bishop f4, I go bishop f5, gaining a tempo on his rook. And later on, I could take back on f4, and then e5 will also be hanging in some lines. So I feel like that's pretty interesting. Let's see what he has in store. Let's see if he's in form. I could also go knight e6 there with a slightly worse but very solid position. But obviously this feels a whole lot more interesting. So he's gone kind of passive. Maybe I should have brought the other rook. Yeah, I probably should have brought the other rook. Maybe this was just a positional mistake. Not that it matters greatly though. Yeah, this move is annoying to meet. Okay, I'm gonna take an e5, and we're gonna see some simplification. Okay, so he takes an a7. That's a move I was sort of hoping he would play. Probably rook d7 shouldn't weaken those dark squares without reason. Bishop b6. I don't know about that move. Oh, I may have missed bishop b3 followed by knight d3. Yeah, I think I did that. That's a bit of a shame. h6 now. Okay, now he's allowing it again. And now a win in exchange, and most probably the game. This was a bit messy. My opponent has played very well. Just a tad slow. Okay. We keep going. Oh, this guy is massively high rated. Let me try and beat this guy. Alexander Injic, if that's how we pronounce it. I think he's being coached by Morozovic. Injic is supposed to be like the tallest grandmaster in the world. He's really tall. Okay, so I'm just gonna go bishop b5. I think this guy, as I said, is being coached by Morozovic, so I'm sure he has a bunch of interesting ideas now. So what's the story here? What do you do? a5 or d4 or what? I don't know. I'm just gonna castle. Just gonna castle. So he goes a6, bishop e2. So this was what I had against Wei Yi here the other day. It looks pretty moronic to, like, it feels like I'm playing some sort of worry Sicilian, but there are some points to it. I'm not gonna disclose all of them, but I can safely say that it's not as stupid as it looks. Which would be, of course, a bit of a shame because it looks kind of stupid. I mean, I'm just playing this without thinking. Well, this should work, right? Bishop f3. I mean, I can do a number of things. I can go just bishop f3, d5, attacking the queen, then queen d3, has to go rook a7. Can go bishop e3 followed by a5 then. I think with decent compensation. I can also take on d6, bishop e2, d7, knight e2 later on, castles, maybe b3 followed by bishop a3 should be slightly better. And I can take on f6. Bishop f6 seems to be forced, queen d6, bishop e2, knight e2. And also there white seems to be slightly better. So I think it's a pleasant choice. Okay, whatever. This just feels like the most sort of principled of the options that I have. Like I'm actually trying not to just to be slightly better, but hopefully like quite a bit better. And he's burning time like there's no tomorrow. So that's a good thing. For me, that is. Not necessarily for him. So for the moment, he's got an extra pawn, but not like a whole lot of joy. So what can I do here? A b6, bishop b6. I could go rook a6, win the pawn back, but then he gets to weaken my pawn structure with bishop e3. So I don't really want to do that. I can go bishop c5. Maybe what he did was clever. He burned a lot of time, but probably he came up with something decent. So let me try. And now, I mean, I just burnt all my time myself. And I'm not up on time anymore, which means that I will have to play well in order to win. But I still have pressure here because I'm threatening bishop c6 after he castles. And hopefully I will get to take on b6 with some potentially fairly mighty passers. I think just rook d2. Can I be really arrogant and just go h3? Okay, I don't have time. I'm just gonna liquidate a bit. Yeah, rook d6. I didn't like that one. I cannot take on a6. So this is not a blunder because there would be back rank issues for him as well. But no, it's not going to be easy to win, of course. Oh boy. Don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, he's playing too slowly. Now he's losing a pawn. Position is still a draw, but it's not that easy for him. Okay, and he lost some time. But at this point, he actually had to play very well to make a draw, which was already, or kind of well, which was already a massive achievement for me. Okay, I think I played this person before. Yeah, I've gone on a dangerous ride before, but I felt like going on a dangerous ride again. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, knight f6. Let's play some kind of King's Indian. It is supposed to be a dangerous ride after all. You're not supposed to go e5 there, dude. This is supposed to just weaken your center a bit too much. Let's see if he has something up his sleeve. So far, my opponent is playing fast, but I think not that well. Like nothing major, but at this point, I've probably equalized with chances of more. So c5. This is called overextending, to be fair. Like he's kind of asking a bit too much of his position here. Yeah, let me go knight c6. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating. Like it's not that bad for white, but still, I think anybody who plays these sort of provocative openings with black would be very, very happy to have this position. He goes d5, which is absolutely the best move. And here I have some options. I'm thinking of knight b4. Then he could go queen b3. I could take on c3, bc3, then go knight e3, fe3, knight d5, rook d1, then he has e4. But if I take on d5 first, he goes rook d1, I go c6. If he goes c4, I go knight e3, fe3, queen a5, check, and I save the knight. But in that line, you could also make other moves to preserve the bishop. Yeah, whatever. I've talked too much about it, so I gotta go for knight b4. You can also go h3 here, but I was hoping in that case that I would take an f3, take an f3, take an e3, fe3, and then I would go knight a6 maybe and try to pressure the pawn on c5. And somehow justifying the fact that I put this knight on the stupid b4 square instead of just cementing it on e5 after exchange to f3 and e3. Okay, so what do we do here? I think we take on f3. He can't take with the queen because of the fork on c2. So he has to go gf. Then I go e6, and we'll see what happens. So far, I have to say that this ride is only dangerous for my opponent. Let us see what he does. I'm officially breaking open his center. My opponent's got time to think, though. So, yeah, this is what I was hoping for. Now I'll go with knight e3, and if fe3, I got queen h4, winning the bishop on c4. So that's going to be game over, or that's going to be a winning position. Like, I've blown winning positions before. I can blow winning positions in my sleep. But this one, I think I'm not going to blow. So I go knight d3 check. I'm going to take on b2, attacking his queen. Now the knight is on c3 is undefended, which means that I win another knight. And yeah, that's very much game over. So takes an f7, just take with the rook. Yeah, whatever. I'll just go bishop c3. Try and be technical. Take back with the knight. If he takes the queen, knights can move backwards. This is not shogi. Now also e3 is hanging, so everything is very comfortable. Rook f8, and now I'm starting a potentially mating attack. Rook f3 is a threat with mate in 2, king h4, bishop f6 with the mate, and he quite prudently resigned. Okay. I think I'm gonna go for another 5-minute game against the serious Lama from Turkey. Who goes d4? Well, I had some success with. Oh, he's gonna play the London. That's okay though. And he goes c4. I think this early c4 is a little bit dubious. Like, at least when you're combining it with h3, I simply don't believe that you have time to do this. Yeah, I guess you can play like this as white. He's finally started developing the last pieces, and then he's obviously quite fine. Taking a d4. I didn't really have a plan after queen d4 there. If knight e4, there's bishop e5, so after queen d4, I probably would have taken on c4, but that position is pretty equal. Now, however, I have some hope of playing against the Isolani on d4. And bishop e6, I think. d5, I go queen a5, and that pawn on d5 is going to be lost. Oh, it's actually not. He had bishop d2 there. Yeah, that's true. And besides, I mean, the queen sacrifice with d6 was not hopeless. This is also perfectly okay, of course, but now with the isolated pawn that he has on d4, I'm a little bit better. Generally speaking, these positions end up in a draw fairly often, but it's always a lot more pleasant to be playing against these weaknesses rather than with them. So I'm gonna go bishop f6, protecting the only square in my camp that was not protected, the pawn on e7. Also preparing king g7, just getting my king away from whatever back rank stuff could happen, and then preparing to activate the rook at some point, possibly with rook to c4. And the serious llama is taking serious thinking time, which is a good thing. That's why you play 5-minute games. It's in order to actually be able to use your time. So I could perhaps win a pawn here with e5, queen d2, e d4 takes everything, and then rook c1, rook c2, attacking both f2 and a2, but that seems a bit premature, just exchanging too many pieces. So I don't want to do that. Now I can go a5. That seems pretty good. Hopefully winning some sort of pawn. Queen a3 though. Queen a3, rook c1 check, queen a3, rook d4, and queen a3, rook d2, bishop d2. There, if I take on d4, he takes an a5. Maybe he was surviving there. So this is what I was actually hoping for. Queen a4. And now that he's not protecting the square on d6, I had this little maneuver with queen d6, check, and queen d5. If it gone f4 there, I had several moves like rook e1, and his position was probably decisively compromised anyway. Okay, so there's this guy who wanted a game. One of my buddies. He's finally gone premium, so he's gonna get a game. That's what it is, right? You go premium and you reap the rewards. Wow, he's playing this very confidently. So this guy, I know he doesn't have the patience to play 5-minute games. So that's why, even though he's a bit lower rated, I accepted a 3 minutes challenge. But he's playing well here. No complaints about the play at all. Just a very, very, very standard Sicilian position. And so I went for this weird a3 move on move 6, but now it's fairly useful since I need to handle b4 by taking it. Okay, so I'm just gonna play quite directly, intending g6 now. And he goes g6 quite prudently. So I'm gonna put the rook back and ask him what he wants to do about the threat of hg6. Because then obviously you cannot take back with the h pawns because of the pin. So he castles queenside once again, I think quite correctly. 95, bishop e2. And next, I think I'm gonna castle queenside myself. He's got knight a5, maybe? Never mind. Knight a5 maybe runs into knight b5. Oh, it doesn't. Wow, that would have been super embarrassing. So I was thinking knight b5, and then knight b5, but he has knight b3 check, winning the queen. But this means that knight a5 is an excellent move, and I have messed up. Wow. Which I have to say is a bit of a shame. How could I allow this? Allow this to happen to my once, well, I wouldn't say beautiful, but decent position. That is now, maybe not so decent no more. Okay, gotta do something right. Just king b1. Take it, queen e1. So he gets to take both of my bishops. And positionally he's doing excellently here. Two bishops are usually better than two knights. Queen c5, another very strong move. Yeah, the thing is, if I protect on g5, he probably just goes e5. And I'm losing a knight, so okay. Gotta speed up at very least. Gotta speed up. Hopefully he will get nervous and blend or something. Knight d4 now. Trying to hustle him. Now I get to take on d6. Bring the other knight around. Okay, knight b3. Oh, this is gonna be close. This is gonna be real close. Oh, I lost some time and I had queen a7. Wow. Oh my god. This dude just played too well. Too well. Too well and too fast. That's what they say. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Gonna try a 5-minute game because evidently I'm just way too slow for 3 minutes. See if my opponent is here. Viorel. If you're not here, I'm gonna have to abort it pretty soon. Unfortunately. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's try this guy. grandmaster, discover chess, an old friend of the stream, and he's been kind enough to challenge me to a 5-minute game. Now that we've discovered that I'm just way too slow to play. To play 3 minutes. Oh, he goes for the King's Indian, showing me exactly the sort of respect that I deserve, which is not very much. King h1. So the point is, like, you want to go g4 at some point. So what do I do if he just goes knight g5, h5, and what's the idea here? Is it to go g3? Or is it something else? Or is it like knight g1, knight f4, bishop f3? Could that be the point? Maybe that is the point. Who knows, huh? Like, the worst part is in the previous game that I played so badly and so slowly, and still I had a mate in one on the last move. Like, if I'd been a little bit vigilant before I lost on time. But he played an excellent game, really, really good. So I'm okay with that. Let me see. He's allowing some knight g5 things. I mean, I guess I should just go for it. Yeah, g4, I think in these positions, g4 is normally not a bad thing to do. Okay, I have to be a bit careful here. Maybe I should just go a4 in order to prevent b5. He goes c6, trying to create some kind of counterplay against the pawn on d5. Obviously want to keep that pawn on d5 to keep the center stable. Maybe I've just been messing around a bit too much here. Maybe I have. And I mean, I can go knight e6 at any point, but I wanna kind of preserve that possibility until it actually gives me something concrete. Okay, now I'm gonna go knight e4 instead. I feel like it's more important to attack d6 than whatever the knight would be doing on e6. If he goes rook c4, I got f3. Should be solid enough. So I think I'm at least to some extent in control here. Yeah, rook c4, f3. I want to do anyway. Protect all my pieces on these light squares. Rook, I'm gonna chase the rook away. Rook c2. I don't think he's threatening anything. So I believe I can just be greedy here. Take a pawn. And then rook f2. I was considering whether to go rook f2 immediately, but I thought it didn't have a threat, and if rook b2, I would always have rook f2 anyway, and now we just have the same position as we would have had if I gone rook b f2 immediately, except I won the pawn on a7, which should be a really big deal. I mean, presumably this extra pawn should give me the win here, and he has very, very little counterplay. So h5, I just go h3, and he still has serious problems with his minor pieces, the pieces on the knight on e7 and also the bishop on g7. They're very much lacking in good squares, or any squares. Okay, g5 is quite creative, I have to say. So I'm just gonna go rook c1. Clearly he wanted knight g6 if I'd taken on g5. Okay, now I got queen c4. This I thought would be very strong. Queen f7, knight g5, it should be game over. b5, okay. It's a nice. That's a nice. Oh, I could have gone queen b5. That's a bit unnecessary, and a tiny blemish on this otherwise exquisitely played game. So I gotta try and be hyper accurate by going bishop g1. No check on a1, keeping the pin and the knight on d5. And obviously with, what is it, 3 extra pawns, my position is more or less as winning as it gets. I'll check on g6. King h8 there was mate, so he has to go bishop g7. And this should be resigns. Okay. Nice to get back with a win. Do I feel brave enough to... I do actually feel brave enough to try another 3-minute game. Alex Go 05. Never played this person before. Apparently good to play somebody new. Okay, let's see what he does. He goes for the Benoni. What do I do against the Benoni? Haven't faced the Benoni in forever. So let me try this old system. Like Botvinnik used to play like this against Tal. So what's the deal here? Is queen a4 possible for some reason? I don't know, like knight b7, what is the point? No, I don't see it at all. Okay, so I'm just gonna play the standard way. So what he did here, I think, used to be, at the very least, considered slightly inaccurate. It used to be considered that you should go for an early h6 g5 and just take the take the bishop on g3, and that if I do get to keep this bishop, then white is a bit better. So we'll see what he has in store. Maybe he just doesn't care and just wants a normal playable position, which I would very much empathize with. So he goes for standard plan of establishing the knight on e5. I got several ideas here. Let me just start with a5. I feel like that's always going to be at least sort of part of the plan here. Bishop f5 is trying to provoke e4. Okay, I guess I'll oblige. He has regrouped his pieces in what feels like a fairly attractive way. Okay, let me bring the rook out. Get it to b3 and see if that could potentially annoy him a bit. Maybe now that he's gone knight d7, I should go f4. Anyway, f4 takes it, then he goes f5. It's not so clear. So, okay, I'm going to go knight a4 instead. Now that he's no longer attacking e4 twice. And as in every game, I'm playing a bit slow. So now I'm getting into more of a panic mode, you know. I wanted to say hustle mode, but realistically, it's more like panic mode. Okay. King h7. Now I'm going to swing the rook and hope for the best. f5. f5 is probably a good move. What to do? Let me just take it. Rook e3. My play here probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Bishop e5 doesn't work, right? Okay. Gotta be much faster than this. Knight e4. This is just way too complicated to play with so little time. Rook g3, this is what I was hoping for. Now I get knight d6. And my position should be winning. But the usual question is, am I going to be in time? I think you should give up the queen at this point. Oh, that is creative. Very creative. Oh, never mind. I have to play. Play. Knight d6 coming. You have to play faster, dude. I have to play faster than this to have any chance. Okay. Oh, it's once again just pure hustle mode. And there's mate. Mate in one wins the game pretty much regardless how much time you have, except if there's no time left. Obviously. Okay, good game. He played very well and then just got messed up a bit with a lack of time. Oh, there's another person from Turkey here. We got ourselves a 5-minute game. Turned out once again that I was too slow for playing 3 minutes, so we're back to 5 minutes and Catalans. As exciting as it gets, huh? So he plays in the classical style with c6, which is, I think, quite feasible, but usually considered a tad passive. Gonna go queen c2, try for a quick e4. Knight b2 and then e4. Oh, knight a6, this is what people play. What's the idea here? There is just no chance I'm gonna figure out the subtleties of this position in a few seconds, so I will just play moves that look normal to me. So I really just decided that I was not going to waste time on playing a3, that these whole knight a6 shenanigans, that they were just a bluff. That's what I decided. Speaking of shenanigans, do I have some knight f6, knight g5? He has to take it. I take on b7. He goes rook c7. I go bishop b4, I suppose. And then he takes on d4. I take on h7. He goes king h7. h8, sorry, and I think it's fine. Okay, so my opponent has played pretty well. What else can I do? What else? Is d5 insane? ed5? Knight g5, threatening some sorts of knights. He's got several moves there. Knight e4, d4. d4 is not so clear actually. d4, knight d4, bishop g2, knight f5. That could just win for me. But I think knight e4 is a good move. Knight e4. Do I have any ideas? Knight h7, king h7, cd5, f5, rook e4, takes, king g8, queen e6, check. Okay, this probably doesn't work at all, but it just looks like so much fun. So he just takes an e4, ruins all the fun. Like, he doesn't allow me the chance to play all of these fun lines that probably don't work, but nevertheless, I really wanted to do, because, like, what can I do except try and show off that I can actually be creative, right? Like, I don't necessarily show that all the time in my tournament games. Yeah, this is upsetting. This is mildly upsetting. So boring. I spend all of this time talking, calculating, and I just end up with an equal position, probably. We should have gone ed5, I think. Queen e7, there was knight c2, and if queen e2, I think knight c6, cd5, knight d4 was perfectly fine. Now I guess I have some initiative. No, I'm just gonna go queen g4. I think his last moves have not been optimal. So now I get some initiative, and he missed queen knight d7. I think maybe he was still fine there with bishop c8. So now my position is great. Only problem is that I've spent oceans of time, as mentioned and lamented before. But the position is winning. I'm an exchange up, and no major worries. Oh, he just goes full hustle mode. Because why the hell not, huh? Maybe this is just good, actually. Okay, I just gotta be faster. Just gotta be faster. It's okay to be too weak, but I cannot also be too slow. Rook b1. So I feel like he's not fighting in the best possible way here. f4, creating a bit of a barrier. I'd miss knight e4. That's a shame. Should have gone king g2 to f3. Would have been more precise. Okay, this h6 business, I don't really believe in. Now he gives me another pass pawn. And I shall say, thank you very much. I will push said passed pawn. You should have tried f4 there. But still I was winning, like gf and then gh and just king f3, keeping everything under control. He can get this king to e5, but it doesn't matter in the slightest. I'm going to push d6, I'm going to push h5. And the time is not going to be a major factor. Okay, I'll push h5, h6, knight g4, I just take, and queen the pawn. And here I just do the same. I take the knight and queen the pawn. And that's going to be it. Okay, good game. Definitely played well in the opening and had a good position there, my opponent. Okay, I'm going to give myself a challenge that is probably way too much for me. Nihal Sarin, one of the young guns, one of the better blitz players around, and 3-0, which we've already established is too fast for me. So I'm gonna at least play the opening sort of quickly. He goes for this. Yeah. That's a bit annoying, right? Oh, he just goes g3? Yeah, these positions are probably just better for white. So I'm gonna go rook e8, if e5, bishop g2, yeah, it doesn't work. Oh, he's renewing that particular threat. Okay, let me go queen c7. Rook c8 and tuck the queen in on b8. So a6, that's part of the hedgehog, right? My queen a8 trying to put some pressure on e4. And in general, this position is a bit better. But it's not that big a deal. Normally my pawn should be on e6 here. So I'm going to put it there as soon as I can. And now you see the reason why I played a6 earlier on. It's creating this hedgehog structure, as they call it, with all of these little spines with the characteristic 4 pawns on the third rank. Not including the pawn on g6, which is sometimes another squares. Queen e3. Okay. Guess rook cd8. I'm going to go h6 just to take away the g5 square from his queen. It seems very useful. And nothing that much going on. Okay, I'm going to try d5. Break in the center. Try and make something happen. e5, I go knight e4. Yeah, and also cd5, that was the sort of trick I was hoping for. cd5, I would have gone for, should I take? Yeah, I probably should take one. cd5 would have gone knight, c takes e4, and whatever bishop or knight he takes back with on e4, I go ed5, and I'm probably doing well. But he goes for this instead, not falling into my plan, which is a bit disappointing for me, but I guess fairly normal, as my opponent is an extremely strong player. Okay, I'm going to take e5. Don't see why that loses. Oh, my plan was to go rook d2 and then to play e3, but he has queen e3 attacking the knight. That's a bit disappointing. Okay, let me... Now I'm probably just worse. And we're gonna get ourselves a bit of a time scramble. Yeah, rook d6 is really annoying. More annoying than I had hoped it would be. What do I do? King f7 maybe? Yeah, knight c6. I'm really... If I'm holding on, it's by the skin of my teeth. Queen c7. Rook e5. Has he blundered this? I hope so. Oh, I allowed a check. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. That was uncalled for. That was so uncalled for. So dumb. Like, I knew that bishop c4 and d6 was his idea. Okay, whatever. We move on. Okay, just a few more games. For me, Chopper, Yilmaz, a very solid Turkish grandmaster, trying 3 minutes again. Yeah, this has not been a wonderful session in terms of speed. Like, I feel like the quality has been not disastrous, sort of what it usually is, but the speed has been nothing short of abysmal. Okay, so everybody is just a little bit late for the game, it seems. Okay, I'm just gonna play for, positional style, knight to c3. I'm just gonna pretend that I didn't actually see that he put the bishop instead of the knight on d7. I'm just gonna play it in the same manner. Bishop e6. Guess I'm pushing this pawn, because why not? Is he really allowing a6? Why is he allowing a6? I don't see it. I'm going to be chopping up Chopper's structure. Okay. That's what he wants, huh? Knight c6. Queen c7. I take e7. I take a6. He has knight b8. If I take with the rook. Yeah, he probably does. That's a shame. Spending too much time contemplating nonsense. Yeah, let's go for it anyway. Queen c7, just take an a6. Be happy. Okay, I guess I gotta take an e7 now. Okay, I mean, I gotta at least calculate 97, rook e6, king h8. I mean, king h8, rook e6, queen h2, king f1, queen h1, king e2, queen g2. Is there anything I can do there? Probably not. So I should just keep my mouth shut and I should play. Like, who plays chess like this? My pieces are all pretty ragged at this point. Not good. Not good at all. I probably just lost, I think. Or maybe it isn't that bad. I think it could be that bad. Let's just hoping this sort of holds together tactically by miracle. Huh, he had queen b7. That just won the game on the spot. This probably also wins, but it's less obvious.